Hi Capricorn. It's Virgo season and you guys, so let me just explain. I'm going to be doing a little bit this, if you've been watching, the spread is going to be a little different. It's a spread that I like to do a lot, especially for clients, is a compass spread. So there's 5 cards all together and it's different sections: the body, the mind, the heart, the spirit, and then the center focus, the compass. And I'm really looking forward to your reading. Dramatic pause. Yep, dramatic pause. One of my favorite rappers is a Capricorn. Well, he died. Mac Miller. He had a Capricorn sun. And for me, for those of you who know who he is, his last 2 albums were really impactful. And I didn't start listening to him really until I think the 3rd to last album. And also, just so you know, there's something going on with my neighbors, so I might pause this in a moment. Okay, so first card out is death, and I do feel that. I feel very grounded today in my heart. And what I was going to say before, but I wanted to wait. And also for those of you, this is the first part of the reading. There's 2 parts. So the second part, we look at the cards for those of you who are interested in looking at the cards and seeing things from that perspective. Is that you guys come off like good for the most part, whether you're happy or just in like whatever, just chilling, and sometimes come off a little bit harsher, but you're really softies, all of you. Sorry. Virgo season's gonna bring that out, and especially when Scorpio goes into, or excuse me, Venus goes into Scorpio, then your body's going to feel it more, and you're going to finally feel settled in everything that's changed the past few years. And it might cause you to want to reflect, and it could be beneficial for some of you to do that, to just see how what has happened from 2 years ago when the eclipses were in your sign to last year until now. It might be beneficial for some of you because it's important, especially in Virgo season, for everyone to see the pureness that they are. And I know how that can sound, but we all have this innate, true, divine innocence. And there's like just this thing, especially you guys. So like there's this thing that shows like how much of like a kid, how new you really are and how fresh you really are. And when you get to experience yourself in that space, and when you allow yourself to be in that space, and that space happens a lot when you're in love, or when you're around people that love you for who you are and you them, and there's just like this ability. And then when you feel very comfortable in yourself, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, but when you feel extremely comfortable in your skin, depending where you are on your path, it's just this very natural thing that you allow to let out, especially in the way that you interact with people. And the genuine laughter when you laugh, because Capricorns don't just laugh. Like you guys, it's different. It's because like you're genuinely like good. Like you have your pressures, you have your things, but there's this like even keeled part of you that, because of how much responsibility that you innately take on and that you know, regardless of how bad things get. And then it could look a little different, but for the most part, the last few years have like kind of smoothed you out. Especially for those of you who went through your Saturn return. The mind. So this is something that can happen in Virgo season, but I really do think that what's happening and your central focus being on your body is something that you're not always used to. So this being the focus is obviously going to cause some type of effect with the mind, it doesn't have to be necessarily this, but this is what's coming through. What Virgo season can do, especially for fellow earth signs who also can get in your head, overthink, that's what might happen this month for you. That's why I said about the reflecting, because, which makes sense now more than ever, is just that you can do that, but it may cause you to go down a spiral, and you're there, like you're good, you're doing your thing, and it's okay to go through those motions too, and allow yourself to feel it. Don't try to deny them. Don't say that they're wrong. Allow those feelings to come through for sure. Experience them, feel them, acknowledge them, notice how you handle them now as opposed to how you did then. So that's what you can look at. How are you handling what you're experiencing now? Maybe you need a different way of dealing with it. In the heart, this is that innocence, that purity, that youthful spirit that's in your heart. A lot of you are in love. And if not, you're wanting to offer love, or you're experiencing this feeling of just feeling loved by the universe and by everyone around you in this way that is very, very much needing you to acknowledge that you were part of creating that. That couldn't have happened without you, you know? Like, sure, that can happen, but energy's energy. And it's kind of like, it is what it is. So this experience can make a lot of you feel like you're just waking up for the first time, like from a really long nap, from a nap that was just so deep and in dream world. So you might feel a sense of dreaminess this month even. And I think that correlates to the heart and like what you're feeling, what you're experiencing there, and that the reality of how it feels and how pure it is, and how much that's a part of what you're creating and what you're building, and how you're wanting to continue to build your life moving forward. Now, it may surprise some of you for some reason. Middle center compass is the Emperor. Mars is going into Libra on the 14th. Which is really helpful for you. So it's important, it could be important to write things down, to get in the habit of writing things down, especially things that you need to communicate, especially things that are hard for you to communicate, especially things that or feel hard or feel difficult or feel extremely uncomfortable to communicate. Writing those things down might be helpful for you, but regardless, communication is going to become a lot easier for you as we get closer to that transit. And then the universe, and it's like in the spirit, it's like this reciprocity. So you're going to see it externally, what's happening to you internally. It's going to be this mutual thing, because it's like cause and effect with you. You see it very quickly sometimes, because something just can click in you when you allow yourself to go through that vague, abstract feeling, weird, what is happening, what's going on, very earth sign things. Well, you're just changing. Things are different. You're settling different into this energy, into this experience of growth and growing up. And for some of you, it's this responsibility to how you want to love and how you want to give love and how you want to show that. And you feel, some of you may be feeling a greater responsibility of how you go about that in your life, especially with the people that you are constantly in contact with, as opposed to the people that you're like the new people that may come in and out of your life now. So you're learning certain things, and some of you it's boundaries, and that's what's happening in the mind, is that there might be some boundaries that you were unaware of until now because you had to understand what you were going through. And they could be about you, even like some of you may be more guarded and wanting to come out and experience a little bit more freedom from yourself in certain situations. And I think we talked a lot about creativity the past 2 months, and that's maybe what's aiding or going to help this, because some of you may be blocked at the moment, but it's necessary. Like every step is necessary. So just know that things are working its way through, and Virgo season can be this very playful season for you as long as you allow yourself to go through the motions of it. if you don't and you deny yourself that and you put yourself in pressure, you work too hard or excessively this month without giving yourself proper rest or a break, next season could be really difficult. There's a sense of, even though there may be a lot happening internally, there's a sense of ease that you can allow yourself. Like, notice how I say that. You can't allow yourself some ease. You just have to allow yourself that ease, and to get through that really rough part of getting there, or the resistance you may feel of allowing that, because it's not something that's always normal for you. But that's also a part of all of this, if that makes sense. If there is a Scorpio in your life, there may be a Scorpio entering your life or coming back into your life for some of you. Someone who might want to move forward, but we'll get more of that in the extended. The center is an Aries, so there could also, some of you have an Aries in your life who may be needing a lot of your time or a lot of your energy. We'll also get more of that as well. If you are single, it's really important that you communicate with your partner, you communicate with the people around you. And if you're, wanting to date and you're starting to date, or maybe you meet someone this month, maybe a Scorpio or an Aries, communicating with them where you're at sincerely is okay. Like, this is where I'm at. If things are good and you want to continue, just tell them. Don't try to cover up, put pressure on yourself to be no, none of that. No. Just do your best by being the best version of who it is that you are right now in this moment, because it's going to bring you more power and more energy. And I mean power by it's like a battery, battery power. It's going to bring you a lot more energy towards the end of the month, where things start to shift more. And for those of you who are partnered, just communicate what you need. And even if you don't know what you need, communicating that. Okay? So we'll go into looking at the cards and showing you them and allowing yourself the softness. Remember? Okay. And all the information to work with me one-on-one is below. All right, Capricorn, I love you, and I'll see you next month. All right. Hi, Capricorn. Okay. So the body, mind, heart, spirit, or whatever you want to call it, and the center, compass. So I'm going to start with Emperor because it's really drawing my attention. The center is about you being grounded in yourself and communication. So Mars is going into Libra this month, and Venus is going into Scorpio, which is funny because these three are the ones that are really prominent for me. Body and heart. So by the time that Scorpio or Venus moves into Scorpio, 4 days later, Mars moves into Libra. So it's really important for you to understand what parts of you or whatever's coming up with internally, to expose them, to, if you're partnered, to talk about it, or to acknowledge them within yourself, because you don't want them to take over and take a hold of you. Because when that happens, you can tend to forget, again, that purity that can come out in you in this month and wants to come out in you. You can think that is, or you can become insecure about that instead of embracing it, right? So it's really important for you to express your love and express these things to whomever you're wanting to give it to, whoever you're wanting to give to. And I think that for some of you, there's a very specific person, someone that you actually see yourself building a life with. And the more that you do this, the more that you realize that becomes real. And regardless of it, if you stay with this specific person, and for those of you who are partnered, it's setting a foundation for whatever your future is going to turn out to be anyway, because for a lot of you, you're looking at that bigger picture, and Virgo is the season to do that. So the important thing here is then that Eight of Swords in the mind, where certain things are crumbling. Certain things that you realize don't work anymore are going to crumble. And you can either hold on to it, or you might get so in your head where you know that the only way out is to express these things. It's not, expressing them doesn't mean that they are stuck. It actually might be helpful for you. For some of you, it's really about exerting it through your body. So for some of you, it's taking up a physical practice that is a lot more intense, possibly, that can really get it out of you this month. You might feel like a fire lit, because Libra, Mars and Mercury moving into Libra are both cardinal signs, which you are also a cardinal sign. So you're going to want to direct this somewhere, and if you don't, you might, it could backfire on you. Let's just say that. And then also it's that sense of control, right? Like, this month is about giving you what you need and knowing that you are in control of you're partially in control of your destiny. Like, you're working with whoever it is who's in your life, and you're also working with God. You're working with, and that's all within you and within everyone else around you. So whatever it is that comes up, you might have some amazing insights by the end of the month, but this month may be a little rocky for those of you who have a hard time handling the intense feelings of love or expressing that, or being around people who can really vibe with that energy that you bring. For a lot of you, it's a deeper intimacy with yourself and with your partner this month. And then for those of you who it's not about a partner, it's about you really allowing yourself to receive fully that in which you give. Because sometimes you can create a power dynamic in places where it's kind of unnecessary. You may not mean to, it's just a part of your nature to guide, no matter how you do that, right? It could be that you could be that silent type who guides, but you could be that one who gives advice when asked for. This is about allowing yourself to be equally guided and to guide this month. And not to create, and maybe even to see where you put certain power dynamics even with people. Not those the ones that you love, it's not there as much, but you still need, it's like there's a part of you that still needs that sense of control and whatever that looks like for you. And there's no pentacles out except for this King of Pentacles. So, just know that your money won't be affected. It seems like your money is just going to be extremely stable this month, depending on how you decide to engage and handle this energy. But, the advice is to acknowledge and to communicate when it's necessary. And also to move your body. Because there's something left over that Virgo sees, and it might be bringing up in terms of grief from your past that really needs that final cry, which for you can be that final push in your body. It's like when you're doing a workout and you want to give up and you don't, and you realize you reached a whole new level, in your muscles, or anything that you do that you exert yourself in. And then therefore in that moment, that pinnacle moment actually makes things easier depending on how you choose to handle it. All right, Capricorn. All information to work with me is below, and I'll see you in Libra season.